mad. Anyway, let's not stay sad in times. Let's move on. Grammys.
So you're staying on
landed
sad
this
in
week.
times then?
Yeah, I guess I am.
No, it's a bit mad.
Obviously, landed this week. Nominations, man.
Yeah,
What we saying?
Here's the thing. We obviously know that someone who deserves all the things is going to get snubbed, like it happens every year.
Right.
But this year just seems like it was like that was the marketing strategy for attention.
Outrage.
Because some of the stuff just doesn't make sense. I've watched so many things that's obviously, like, you know, touched upon like who's nominated, who's not, and stuff like that. And thankfully, there's people from our side of the pond who's managed to get some nods with their work that they've done over the past years. Deservingly so. But when man like The Weeknd, I understand that I do not listen to my man, yeah? I don't listen to The Weeknd whatsoever, yeah? I don't know what the last single was. I don't know the name of the album. But all I know is that I was hearing it. I was hearing this stuff in passing a lot, yeah? And I just know through the grapevine what his stuff done. Like, it's the best year of his career and all the rest of it. And there's like zero recognition for that. Like, you can't be like the best, biggest artist in the world and like a whole, like the most prestigious award ceremony is just saying next year, bro, or like never that for you. And it just doesn't make sense. Like, and as much as I didn't really, just speaking honestly, authentically, didn't really understand the heights of Summer Walker's project as an R&B singer, I knew that it did.
Why didn't you understand it though?
Say it again. Why I understand it. I just didn't think it was like
Summer Walker's project, Jermaine.
It was just, it didn't really like tick all the boxes for me personally. Just didn't really curl all the way over. So I know that there was a huge appreciation for it, right? And that's, you know, this is where R&B is at. And thankfully, regardless of whether it didn't do it for me, it's still keeping R&B in the conversation. And it did what it needed to do. There was no album, I don't think there was no album of the year, correct me if I'm wrong, for any female. And to me, females were killing last year. Like, so it was really baffling to me that those two in particular, as well as like, there's a whole bunch of other artists like that were killing, but those two really don't make sense to me. And the whole like, I think that, just that was ignoring all the females that did bits with the album. What they're doing is they're taking away people's thriller moments. Imagine you make the best project of your whole career, like, and you feel like this is my arrival. I've been working years. Last year I sat there and I watched people win the award, and now I know that my body of work and what it's done, it's mad, to be honest, because with keeping that in mind, you wake up one morning and your album's #1 and you're on the front cover of Time magazine and all these types of things or whatever, and you know culturally you're killing off everyone. No one ain't got a chance, yeah? And you get to the most prestigious thing that's obviously gonna even acknowledge the fact that you encompassed what your genre is that year, and they totally Is Ricardo okay?
Ricardo left.
I got too emotional.
Did I freeze?
Where are you?
Yeah,
you froze for a second.
What's happened there? Sorry. Go on.
Yeah, you know the pictures where like someone, like they've got them all like this, like we've all seen them, and more time they have to even share couple with their producer, like standing there like, now you're taking away people's moments like that, man.
It's power though, isn't it? Because they know that they can. Do you
think they purposely get it wrong? Like, or is it just blissful ignorance?
the Ariana, apparently she didn't want to perform the way they wanted to perform. No nominations for the biggest album of Hurting. What else? The Malcolm thing. Come on, bro. Do you get what I'm saying? Was that? I can't remember what it was, Good Kid, Mad City or Pimp a Butterfly, but that was obviously a joke.
Yeah.
And the 25 versus Lemonade, the most culturally impactful album that Beyonce's ever done. Like, it's just, and to be fair, this is no shade to Adele, whatever, but we don't talk about 25. That's the past that capsule of time, that hasn't affected no one's life. But Lemonade is like it's like a lasting thing. It's an impactful project, whether you like the songs or not. Like, did the bits, it impacted us, impacted music, visual album. Do you know what? No, I get upset for these artists, you know. It's a bit mad. It's a bit mad. So yeah, I feel like we had the biggest artist in the world, doesn't get no Grammy nomination. Not even no Grammy, like not a Grammy. Like, we're not talking about, oh, he didn't win, someone else won. That happens all the time, and that's gonna happen. But no acknowledgement is wild.
Mad. So who should have got a nomination this year that didn't then?
Summer and Weekend, as far as I know. Who else dropped a mad album?
I'm gonna say just like, to wind you up. What about Brandy?
No, I was just about to say, like, Brandy's, in terms of the cultural impact of when Brandy's, I don't know whether it was late submissions or whatever, how that works in the year, but as much as that wasn't my favorite Brandy album by any means necessary, I would have thought, like, at least like a brat for R&B, like pushing an envelope a bit with sound. I don't know what, a whole bunch of people were making excuses for that album, so I would have thought that would have given her. So Cherry, did you want to chime in, Cherry? No. So yeah, who else? Jojo released a project, I don't know, which was a solid project as far as I'm concerned.
You reckon? We're talking about what, Jojo?
Well, not KC and Jojo.
Just not, because they're back, you know. They're back in their own little separate thing.
Oh, gosh.
I was just checking.
Yeah, her album was all right. You didn't like it?
No.
Okay. Oh, dear. Poor thing.
Anyway, Cherry, what are you saying? You're quiet, you know. I feel like you got a lot to say.
I'm just happy that Tiana Major 9 got a nomination. That's all that I'm happy about. That.
Tiana Taylor didn't get no. Do you get what I'm saying? That was a like fully fledged R&B project. Justin Bieber was thrown into the pot when that was a blatant R&B album. Changes was a blatant R&B album through and through.
That was a snub.
It was. Do you think it was a snub, or do you think there's like some cultural ignorances? Do you think because he's just a blue-eyed white guy that actually, no matter what he made, they were always going to fling him into something?
I think it's more like, you see, like a power play. Like, do you think you can actually come to this thing and shift and change genres when you feel like it? No.
Yeah.
I hear that.
That's what it is. I think it's more of that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Terry, you're quiet, you know. So you know what? Let's go back.
I'll say what I wanted to say though.
We do have to big up Tiana Major 9 because
amazing.
Especially, and we're gonna have this conversation about R&B in the UK and people getting their flowers and that. But she's done bits. She's done bits.
Love her.
And that Grammy nomination, man, she is well deserved. And we need to shout it out from every rooftop and just give her all the flowers that she deserves. So yeah, big up Tiana Major 9 on that one, man.
Do you know what's funny is that I know the industry's changed, but in terms of what the UK doesn't do is we don't recognize the people that we should champion until they're, you know, classically, like as we know, we're championed by someone else, somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And really and truly, in terms of what Tiana Major 9 is doing and how talented she is, and her overall aesthetic and her authenticity as an artist, she should be having her Jamelia moment. Do you get me? Like, she should be like, for us, it's like, that's the one. Do you get me? Like, same way Stormzy is the one for their genre.
True.
She's doing it for us. Like, she's getting Grammy noms, like, and we're acting like she's just another one of us. Like, and it's just, you know, like, we don't champion our artists the way we need to. And it's the reason why I had this conversation the other day, like, we can't name 5 R&B legends who've been doing it for like 20 years, like, just like blah, 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 blah. The same. We was just saying that we don't know, we can't reel off our legends like Americans can reel off their legends, because we let the fire just dim out and we just move on. Like, it like, you know, I just remember a time, and not to sound like an old fogey, but I remember a time when, you know, we had Craig, we had Jamelia, we had even a Lamar. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, and I don't know what happens, whether it's, you know, I feel like the labels are partially to blame, just in terms of, like, when they see success, they try and shift an artist into a Caucasian realm too fast, and it loses the source. But, you know, someone posed that question to me the other day, like, who's our people? Like, who do we, and why am I going as far back to, you know, Omar and them thing, like we haven't been doing music.
Right.
You get me? Like, in my mind, that's where I go, because I'm like, okay, soul to soul, like, what? We've been doing music out here. Why don't we have the R&B legends? Because we, as a country, don't champion. Like, Shakka is a prime example. Someone who's ticking all the boxes for, like, sonically, for what this country can represent. Like, he's got the hooks, he's got personality, he's a musician through and through, he produces, he's a singer.
You know what? In my opinion, Shakka is a genius.
He's a musical genius.
And I'm just like, anyone who wants to challenge me, I don't business. Who your mother, your is actually a genius.
Facts.
And you know what? I've been in the studio with Shakka, and I've created with Shakka, even at, like, the early stages of his journey. And I just looked at him and I just thought, you're like an Einstein, bruv. You're actually mad with it. Like, how you put your production together, how you put your vocal arrangements together, how you write your songs, like, you actually having the know-how and the willingness to have live musicians in on certain things at the beginning of your journey, like, not just going some guy to get no ching bang beat, and just actually learning this thing. Shaka's the type of person that if you got something wrong with your laptop, even he will rewire up your whole thing, bruv. Like, he's next level. But I feel like with Shakka, I feel like they can't put him in a box.
That's it.
Because he's so eclectic. And I think, like, that, and you know, they want it to be one thing. Like, it's like you've got to be soul or R&B or grime, or you got to be pop, or you got to be classical, whatever. But because he can touch on so many different genres, play with so many different styles, I feel like they just can't box him.
But that's again is a UK issue, because people like Anderson .Paak is of the same ilk as that. You get what I'm saying? Like, swimming freely between genres, hip hop, R&B, whatever he wants to do that morning, he's gonna record, and the world is gonna happily accept it and embrace it. And I feel like the UK can't fathom outside of, you know, whatever is immediately gonna. I feel like there's a lack in terms of industry. We are wired differently. The industry in America, anybody can correct me if I'm wrong, but this is just my Ras Clark perspective. Yeah, the industry in America are more perceptive to the real source and let the real source live longer. We have to see pound signs always before the thing can leave the ground. Do you get me? And that's what strips things of where they belong, and stuff can't last because the very second it doesn't make no money, or it's just about the art or anything like that, it's there's no value to it in this music industry. There's no place for it at radio. There's no, like, what is it doing money wise? The moment it's not making all the money in the world for a label or anything, dropped, pushed aside, whatever, label stop backing it, certain people try act, you know, go above their station and try act like you're, do you get what I'm saying? Like, Pete, there's so much entitled ego without the education and the real raw authenticity over here in the industry. Like, and I, for one, I'm just sick and tired of it. Like,
I'm sick and tired.
Listen, yeah, Shakka's another one that deserves all the flowers, man. Like,
we have Shakka.
Yeah.
We really shouldn't be talking about anyone else.
He is a genius, man. He is a genius on every level. You know what I like about Shakka is that even though, like, you can't box him, he's still just Shakka. Like, whatever song he's on, you just know, it's him. It's not like, oh, my man's trying to thing because actually that's the wave.
It's because of the vocal and the pen though is so
mad,
solid.
Isn't it? It's mad. Yeah, man, he deserves all the flowers. All the flowers. So yeah, what was it? Why did we go there? Was it we talking about Tiana?
We were talking about Tiana and how she should be, how I said she should be, you know, our Jamila for this moment, how she should be everywhere because she's representing the real thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the
thing is with that is that she's not. It's not obviously it's not the same genre in it.
Yeah. But I'm talking about what it is. Do you get what I'm saying? Like what that was, to the point where back then you'd know that Jamila was the main chick. Like it's not a question. Like, and that's we don't do that no more. And I don't know whether I don't know whether it's because the industry's changed so dramatically since them days.
No, but that's the point I'm trying to make. Jamila wouldn't have been the main chick right back then if she was doing a different genre of music. If she was doing what Tiana was doing now, she wouldn't necessarily have been the main chick. But Jamila was definitely branded as a pop artist.
Yeah.
She wasn't branded as an R&B artist.
Yeah.
But I feel like when I say that, I just mean like maybe it's an oversaturation thing. I just mean like, you know, like when everyone's saying the saying comes from like there can only be one of this, whatever. Like how we had Craig, there was no other Craig at the time. There was no other Jamila at the time. There was no other Mystique at the time. There was no other Fundamental at the time, really. So it was like, that's what I mean. Maybe the industry's changed to the point where we're seeing too much and we can't single out the winner. Maybe that's an issue, or just maybe we just don't value our legends to be right now. Like we don't see it, and like, because to be honest, I remember when I saw Shakka performing at the Mobos, I was like, and I knew there was a deal situation. There was a major label are involved at this point. So I'm thinking, finally, like we've got someone that's about to do something so significant for the talent here in terms of representation, and then that was like the peak of it. That was what happened, and then it's like, cool, like and then it was like it never happened.
Yeah.
And to be honest, someone like a Deneo is the same example. Musical genius, just pushed to the side, like, yeah, cool, like you stay over there. It's mad.
But the beauty of that is, it's like, as much as they've done that, both Shakka and Deneo still deliver.
Yeah.
Incredible. Like, it's mad. So it's like, I guess the next thing is, it's like, do we, because you know what it is? I feel like, as much as I know that's not what you're saying, but it's just like, oh, you know, he performed at the Mobos and then, you know, I didn't really hear much else or whatever. But he's done shitloads of stuff since then. Yeah. But it's just been on that like mainstream platform type of thing. But I think maybe sometimes people feel like that takes away from someone's dopeness as well.
Yeah,
it's like,
I'm not saying it does. I'm not saying it does. What I'm saying is, from time you touch there, why is it that someone, just for example, and this is no shade to no one, but when a Harry Styles can touch the mainstream anything, he stays there until it busts through to America, until it busts through the whole world. It's like, it gets to a point, and then, you know, I suppose it's the ceiling that they talk about.
Harry Styles genre is just like, do you know what I mean?
That's funny.
It's just straight pop, innit? Like what do you know what I mean? So it's like trying to compare the two, it's just like, it's actually unfair.
I fully understand. I fully understand that. But I feel like even when you do bend like an other artist, you're still not gonna bust through. Alexandra Burke.
Well, she did bust through though.
She bust through, but where's she there now?
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like, it's been she definitely had a moment. Definitely.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, like sustaining and past a certain point, obviously, is speaks for itself. But she definitely had a moment, and obviously going through that channel was probably the best starting point for her. Obviously, I can't speak for what she's doing now, so I don't know. But
and I just want to clarify, because I don't want people thinking that I'm throwing shade at Alexandra Burke. What I'm saying is, to compare, you know, since we're talking about, okay, cool, pop channel, same platform or whatever, right. I'm talking about what happens to people who are close to representing what we need. Their light gets dimmed out and it's just not sustained over time. And because obviously I mentioned Shakka, which you can't be compared to Alexandra Burke, can't be compared to Harry Styles because Harry Styles is pop. Right. Alexandra Burke now bent and did what she needed to do, jump through whatever hoops that she needed to do to survive on the pop front. And still, it's like she's not, you know, in the circle. She's not, you know, on the Vogue magazines and all this type of stuff internationally. And I'm sure there's a handful of other, like, I'm not even sure, I'm certain, sure and certain is the same thing. But I'm saying, like, I'm definitely sure that that's what is the thing. Like, maybe it's a racial thing, you know, Sainsbury's has shown us that this country is not necessarily for arting. So maybe it's a racial thing that it you know, hits that ceiling eventually. And I feel like I'm just going like round in circles and off in a tangent with like I'm fully Kanye Westing right now. But I'm saying, like, I'm trying to figure it out. Not that I care or necessarily want myself in that position, but right. I want our country to shift. And I want people I don't want it to get 2 years from now when we're asking, where's Tiana? You get me? Like, I want it to be like, she's gone clear to the point where not just because America is acknowledging who she is, because that's what we always just wait for. because we've said, like, she can come here and do what Stormzy doesn't have to leave this soil for him to be Stormzy. Like,
it's because of how you view R&B.
Yeah.
People view R&B as not our own, and people view grime as our own.
Our thing. Okay.
That's the problem. Like and there's been so many like debates about like the fact that, you know, people singing at R&B, people singing at American accent that do R&B. R&B is Americanized. Because remember, like, obviously, both of you can probably vouch for like even the music that you were producing 5-10 years ago. You would have the odd person or the industry person be like, "Oh, it's too Americanized. Sounds American." But it's like, as another debate I was hearing the other day, it's like everyone's going to go to Summer Walker concert, right? Blood to a UK artist who does exactly the same thing.
It's mad.
Exactly the same thing, has exactly the same sound, but a very similar sound.
Yeah.
Whether it's guitar or production or live band or whatever, they can't marry the two.
It's
like, you're American, you're allowed to do R&B, but if you're UK, you have to do alternative R&B, or you have to do alternative soul, or you've got to have some mad up production that just makes your thing just sound mad left if you want to put people on it.
Right, it's true. It's true. You know what's wild though is it's mad that we can't make that transition, but over there it's a whole different thing. So we take our stuff over there, and they get it. It's crazy.
It's fire, bro.
Sometimes more than their own stuff.
This
amount
is
of times
it.
Like they'll be like, "Yo, y'all are killing cats out here, dog."
That's right.
And we're just really like, we look to you like you guys are, you know, the pave the way vibe. You get me? Like, so the stuff that we're doing now, just off of, you know, to studying from years ago, growing up on R&B music, they're like, a lot of them herald it as some new shit that not even cats over there out like.
But do you know what it is, that we add our flavor? Like, there's a lot of us, you know what I mean? So even though like the foundation might be American R&B, we still are like from African, Caribbean communities. We have our experiences. We have the UK experience that just,
and we know where it's from.
Right. Jerry, you're trying to start something today. You're trying to start something today.
I'm not.
It makes a difference. It makes a difference.
It does. It really does. It really does. And I think that's why when we go over there, like, our music hits is because we've got our identity in there. And you know what was funny enough is when I went out to LA in Jan, I saw it. Like, I'm not throwing shade on US, but everything is quite similar. It's the same. Like, this man sounds like that man. You all write the same. And I guess that's going to be in the bubble that I'm in. I went and that's what I saw. But actually, when we go out there, we bring such a whole different side of what they're just not used to. That's why I think we work so well out there. But at home, I guess, I don't know why it just doesn't. I don't know why it don't connect when we're here, man.
Because we're singing about Black love, and it doesn't fit the white narrative.
Mad. That's mad. That's Cherry's like.
How did we get that?
Just because it was there, and I just thought, let's not skim over why R&B doesn't tick all the way over. Grime.
You think that's the reason why?
I think that's what it is.